I don't know what it is with age. Sorry, pause, but
Age?
your boy's blood gets boiling, dude. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's just like that I'm not like sleeping as well lately or something.
Kid keeps
But, like,
taking the mic off the table.
I was gonna fucking cross the
dude.
street and just a biker was just minding their own business, biking by me, and I was like, "Why the fuck are you there?" Like I was just like, and my blood just like, I don't know what it is, dude. I really need to rein the fuck in.
It just happens, dude.
it's
Dude,
crazy.
It just
I never
happens.
used to feel like that.
No,
Maybe you're
yeah.
going through menopause.
Welcome back to episode 71 of the 505 podcast. One-handed crack to start us off with the 4 rocks. This one's going to be...
Team score?
Yeah, team score. We're going to give a collective of 30.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
So it's out of 30.
It's out of 30, okay?
Don't bring us
Don't
down.
bring us
Don't
down,
bring us
dude.
down.
I'm not going to bring us down. Just a fucking 9. Oh, at least a 9.3 on that one. Oh, do you dent it?
No, dude.
Dude, a good 9.
This is my best one ever.
9.2? Come on. Don't fuck this up. Did he was that there before, or did he do that then?
I mean, I don't think
he was touching that.
Oh no, dude! These doubles were for sure there.
Let's
You
throw it to the
promise?
corner.
I think those were
Throw it to the
together.
corner.
Sounded good. I can't even see
he-
it.
Little fumble on the
Okay,
tab
yeah.
going
So
back.
out of 40.
I think we got a 9.2, a 9.3, and 9.2, and I'm gonna go an 8.1 on that
myself
one.
just
Fuck.
put-
Okay,
Yeah,
okay, wait.
headline.
And for those of you guys listening, you got to hop over to YouTube. We're not going to give Keon a score. We're a little far away.
Yeah.
So you guys got to rank Keon's one-handed crack
There
in
you
the
go.
comments.
Yeah.
Let us know. Also, if you're just tuning in to the one-handed crack, we do this at the beginning of every episode. We want you to tag us in your stories of the one-handed crack, and we're going to reshare them and have the community as a whole vote on the scores. So please tag at the 505 podcast on all your stories of the one-handed crack, and we'll repost those.
And real quick, give us the rules so they know what to
Yeah,
do.
dude, I'm
yeah,
tired
yeah.
of just these shit scores that I have
yeah,
to keep
can't have
having to
shit.
hand out. Listen, guys, okay, it's got to be one hand, it has to be off the table before, no getting your finger under the lid, and then you can't dent it. That's going to automatically get you below a 5, so please don't dent the can. Make sure you get a nice, robust can.
Yeah, robust, dude.
Robust, dude. And then you'll be good to go, and we'll give you some good scores.
Love that.
Boom.
No
Dude.
spilling either, dude. No spilling.
No
Yeah, you
spills.
can't
A view
spill.
gets you a +1. You got a preview. You're in Cinque Terre. You're in Greece. You know, show us the
Cinque.
view.
And do you know...
Cinque.
Is that
Cinque Terre.
Cinque Terre.
Yeah.
That's-
Beautiful
Pasta
place.
Charlie.
You know why you can't spill? Because then you'll get the spillage on your gear. You'll ruin your gear. And we're talking about gear
Yeah.
today.
Nice,
All
nice,
gear,
nice,
dude.
nice.
This is just camera 101. Okay, we've all bought some good bodies in our
Sure.
day. That sounds weird.
Yeah, dude, my body count's at like 3. The Sony Canon, you know? Just gotta hit an icon and then I'll, you know. Anyways.
Let's not
Anyways.
drop our fucking standards that low, huh? You know what I mean? We don't want to go for any like 3s and 4s.
They call Nikon a slump buster. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, dude. Every camera company and their mother, they're just coming out with cameras every single week. I swear we
crazy.
open our phone, they're like, this is the A9 IV. I'm like, we just did the A9 II a
Right.
week ago.
Well, what's
you know?
crazy is we put out a gear guide
We did.
episode, which I thought was like, felt like a couple weeks ago. It was actually like a year and a half ago, and quite a few new like camera bodies and just gear in general.
I
has
think
dropped.
we
Yeah.
all own new camera bodies
Yeah.
since then too, which is interesting. Tons of new equipment, all sorts of weird stuff.
And I also think that it's very important before we get into all this gear guide to let you guys know that, like, don't get caught up in the gear race. You know,
Yeah,
I think that was
it's not a
something that
race.
I got caught up in. And like, if I had to say the whatever camera after the T5i, I can't remember what it was. But then when I'd get the $500, I would immediately spend it. And it usually wasn't on something that got me any better.
Word.
And so really just try to get as good as you can with the gear that you currently have until you go just blowing all of your money. Cause then you're going to get into the starving artist realm. And we want you
Right.
guys to be making bread,
Yeah,
dude.
we want to be able to eat sweet green and make your videos.
And have
you
a
know?
cool camera
Yeah.
that you like, you know? So we're going to give you guys all the best cameras that we recommend. If you're like, hey, you guys didn't talk about this one specific camera, we probably fucking hated it, okay?
Right.
And that's why it's not in here. So don't ask silly questions. And
So-
Costas, give me some of these terms, dude, because there's some terms
That we're gonna
gonna be
use.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're going to be throwing out some terms today, and I
Okay.
don't want anyone to get confused.
Yeah.
What are some that we're going to be talking about?
Okay, we got sensor size.
Important, dude.
That's
Bigger,
important.
the bigger the sensor, dude, the better the image.
Oh, dude, I had the most embarrassing. I told you this story. I'm on that set with the guy that did the Up and Up Coldplay thing, and I just
Okay.
want them to think I'm cool. It's insane, right?
Also, watch the
Coolest.
music video after our podcast. Insane.
Yeah. So these guys are the coolest, and they just walk around. And they're just so cool, and I want to talk to them so bad. And then one of them just locks eyes with me and walks up to me, and I'm shooting on the C70, and he goes, "Hey, what's the sensor size?" And I'm like, huh. And I don't know why, but I was like, 4K? And then he was like, "No, what's the sensor size?" And I was like, 1 inch? Like, I don't really know. And he's like, "No, what's the sensor size?" And I was like, "Super 35. And he's like, "Got it." And I was like, but then I was like, I'm a fucking idiot, right? And now he's never going to talk to me again. But then the DP, who was also cool, was like, "Yo, man, what's that? What's the sensor size?" And I was like, "Super 35. And he's like, "Cool." And I was like, so then we were friends. So yeah, sensor size, it's like full frame or super 35, which is a crop. It's like 1.6 times crop factor. So if you're buying a 16 millimeter lens on a full frame, that's a true 16 and it's wider than if it's on a crop sensor. It's actually 1.6 times 16, which is like 25.
That's really important because you guys could go buy, a lens and you have no idea if your camera is a crop sensor or not. If you just Google camera specs or whatever camera that you get, B&H will have like a specs thing. It'll say, this is the sensor type. It's full frame, micro 4/3. It'll be super 35. Okay. The big one though, when you get a micro 4/3 camera, Lumix is traditionally like micro 4/3.
GH5.
Yeah. All of those lenses though are now 2x, whatever you got. So it's no longer 10 to 20. It is 20 to 40.
Right.
And if you were shooting, say something like soccer or football, you might be, in your favor to potentially get something when you're starting out that's APS-C.
Right.
Because you get a little bit extra room with the 70 to 200. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's
you get
tighter.
a little bit more length.
It's typically cheaper too to get a crop sensor, APS-C. It's not as nice. There's not as much data, and your lenses are going to be like less shallow because they have to be more wide to like capture the same image. But it's a good place to start. I think we all started with crop sensors.
Yeah, we all did.
And before I upgraded to a full frame camera, I invested in like a better lens before getting a better body. And I ended up going with a 16 to 35 over a 24 to 70 because of the crop factor.
Right.
So yeah.
And then you get to invest in the glass. You can realistically never go wrong buying good lenses.
Yeah, changes the whole thing.
You'll be able to sell them for a higher price when you're done with them. And the bodies though, they're going in and out of style, man.
Constantly, dude.
It's like,
and that's why we had to
new
update
flavor
this
of the
shit.
week, dude.
Right.
It's crazy.
Okay, but as we keep going, frame rate, another term. So 24 is like real lifetime motion. That's what you should be shooting, and do not shoot in 30 if you're looking for regular motion. It drives me nuts. I won't watch your video if it's shot in 30 frames per second. It just drives me insane, dude. It just looks stupid.
Like a newscast.
It looks like 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 when there's like a soap opera on TV. That's kind of what it looks like.
And those are filmed in 30.
Yeah, they are. And that's why it looks so stupid,
look all
dude.
Fucking weird. Dude.
And then there's those 24. If you double it, you have 48. That's like the nice slow motion that I really like. It's just half as slow as real life. It looks smooth, and then you can always 200 times speed or 200, 2 times speed it, and it looks just like 24, which is nice. A lot of cameras shooting 60. A lot of Dizzlers shooting 60 or 120. That's sick slow motion. You're going to really like having the flexibility to do some stuff.
Next up, we got the ND filter, neutral density filter. You got to think about this as just a sunglasses shade for your lens. So you'll be able to shoot wide open aperture. You'll be able to adhere to the 180 degree shutter rule right during the day, midday. And ND filters, we're going to talk about like, oh, this one doesn't have NDs built in, or it does. That's what we'll be referencing later on.
Which is really convenient.
Yeah.
Yeah, ND filters are great because if you want to do like long exposure, or it's just like super bright out in the middle of the day. Like obviously you'd like to shoot during sunrise or sunset, but if you're shooting in the middle of the day and you still want to shoot kind of wide open 2.8, get that shallow depth of field, without breaking the shutter speed rule, you're going to need an ND filter.
We got ISO up next, camera sensitivity to light. Another one that's been going around right now is a lot of these newer cameras have what's called dual native ISO. So essentially, they have these two ranges that you're like, hey, you guys should use either this ISO or this ISO, and the camera is going to produce the best quality image at those two different ISOs. So even if it's bright as shit outside and you go to one ISO and you're like, this isn't there yet, you're going to go to the literal highest other one because it's going to produce that beauty image that you're looking for, and you'll use an ND filter to properly expose that image.
And increasing ISO on a lot of cameras will increase noise and make the image look less clean and like a little noisier, but there are some cameras that we'll touch on that handle it really, really well, like a high ISO, and that's favorable.
Now let's get into the cameras that we recommend. We're going to start with the price range of under $500.
Yes. So we'll do all of this price ranges, different price ranges for different cameras, depending on where you're at. We'll give you recommendations for what your budget is.
This is kind of like if, we got pebbles, we got rocks, we got the boulders. This is like you're a grain of sand,
Right here?
Right here. This is a grain of sand rocks.
Where are we at in the price range?
We're at under $500 bucks.
Yeah, just grain of sand.
This camera's low-key a piece of shit, but this is going to be for you to learn the settings.
Yep.
You're going to
all started under
you're gonna
$500.
Get that exposure triangle. All three of us. All three of us
Big
started
time.
with a Canon T5i.
I had a T3i.
T3i. Hey, it's all right. Hey, it's all right. It happens.
It's a grain of sand over there.
For under $500, you got the Canon Rebel T7. They're about $400 on Amazon. You got the Canon Rebel T6, Sony ZV-1F. Give me another one. What else we got?
We got the Panasonic. Wow.
Panasonic.
Panasonic.
The new one that just dropped.
New brand. All entirely.
It's a whole new thing.
The Panasonic Lumix G100, which is $500 limited time deal on Amazon. Did we do our research? We sure did.
We've actually tested and reviewed every single one of these
Yes.
cameras individually.
Okay. Also, if you want to get into like film photography, you got the Canon AE1, which is $250. That's like the most standard, really great entry level film photography.
Yes.
And
camera.
I feel like you specifically, this next camera, you've used it a lot. You've used this one a ton, dude. It's gone with you on a lot of places.
The GoPro 11?
Come on. Well, just GoPro in general.
Well, yeah, but GoPro 11 only. No, but yeah, GoPros are nice, especially for car stuff, because you can mount them on interiors. It's white as shit. You can really just like stick them onto cars if you have a mount. The GoPro, it's like the camera's cool. Don't shoot everything on a GoPro. It's really annoying. It's just like white as shit the whole time. But get like different mounts for it, because you can put it in different weird places, and that's a really cool thing.
Sony, we got the A50-100. I didn't even know that they made the numbers that
Whoa.
low, but they go down to 5100. And next up, we got the A6000,
Which was my dog, dude.
that thing
I
is
love
a
that camera.
tank, dude. You guys can go check these out. And these are like crappier than your phone. These are just going to be to get the settings dialed in, and also you got to shoot with these cameras in good light, or it's just gonna look awful.
Except for maybe that Sony A6000, dude. I was shooting,
you might get some dark
skies.
stuff.
So let's all pick one.
Oh, okay.
I think we should pick one. If you were going to get one out of this list, just as a recommendation for the people that just listened to all that information.
I'm taking the Canon Rebel T7, dude. $500, $400 out the door. Come on. And then I'm in the Canon system.
I'm going to go Canon Rebel T6 with an 18 to 55 lens used for only $230 on Sammy's camera.
You're saving bread.
All right,
dude.
I'm going to do the Sony A6000, because you probably already did it in the past, and it rocked. Dude.
And
It
it
changed my
whipped.
whole life, and it's cheap as shit, and there's a ton of different lenses for it. That FE mount, Sigma 16 1.4, dude, for like $100.
Come on.
That's what I would do.
I will also say,
Old though.
You can invest in like iPhone accessories as well. Like a company called Sandmark, they make iPhone like lenses that you can add. So they have like, macro lenses, telephoto lenses, wide angle lenses. And I was talking to him before the podcast. He's like, why the frick would you do that? It already is kind of built into the iPhone, but it's actually like, if you zoom in past 3 times on an iPhone, it starts to get like shittier quality. So the telephoto lens from Sandmark, it's more telephoto than 3 times, and it like retains that quality. So if you guys don't want to shell out like $300, $400, $500 on actual camera, and you just want to use your phone, you can invest in like iPhone accessories that will improve already a great image that comes out of an iPhone, but improve it even more.
Like iPhone gimbals, all sorts of stuff like
all
that.
that good stuff. Next up, we got this is Bevel territory.
Nice.
Okay, $500 to $1,000. You're starting to approach iPhone 14 quality. We're getting a little
You're
closer
getting some
to
more
it.
options though, because you got different lenses, which is cool.
Exactly.
But, yeah.
You can start to kind of invest in those different bodies and whatnot. But first up, we also got the A6000 again.
Great
We've
camera.
kind of carried it over, but we got a cooler lens. We can get the 16 to 50 lens as a kit, which is awesome.
See, and that's dope, because it's gonna look better than iPhone, because you get shallower depth of field. That's real, not like the portrait fake shit.
$630, dude.
Yeah.
Come on, what else
That's
can
a
they
deal.
get?
Ooh, the Canon G7X.
That thing's portable, dude. Tiny.
Yeah. See, that's a small, dude. So you can take that with you wherever you go. $880.
Vlog, you can vlog with it and stuff.
Yeah, the G7X also gets a lot of hype on TikTok with like the built-in flash that comes with it. You can get some really nice looking images for $880. That's quite a pricey point and shoot camera, but like image quality is solid, and I know that it takes like really solid photos.
You got the bigger rock Sony Alpha, a 6500.
Boom, boom,
my
dude.
second camera that I ever got. It was a tank. It was a tank all throughout college. I loved that camera. And similarly, you got their little brother, the Sony A6400. And you can
Right.
get a pretty solid Sony lens under that $1,500
Sony
range.
usually has cheaper glass.
One thing too with all these cameras that we're gonna list here, if you're looking for a lens that's can have like a shallower depth of field that goes down to like f1.8 or something. All these brands typically have like a nifty 50 is what they call it. They got an f1.8 50 millimeter lens. It's a little shitty, but
Oh, dude, they still rock.
but they rock, dude. They don't have like, they don't have like stabilization and whatnot.
Right.
That's
And
why
they're small.
that's why they're cheaper. They could be like a pancake vibe.
They're also they're cheap because they're fucking mass produced as shit, dude.
Yes.
There's a million of them. And so if I were you, I would get a camera body, get like this kit lens, which is like what 18 to 55, whatever
it comes
there.
with.
Next lens, nifty 50. It's like literally $100, and it's 1.8, so you can get really shallow depth of field portraits, dude. I'm talking like different stuff you can do with it, and that's gonna really differentiate it from the iPhone.
I love
it's a
that,
cool
dude.
focal length.
I love that. What else we got?
Canon T8i. Dude, this is crazy because
wow.
they've just
T5.
been bumping up those
The
T
eyes.
blank eyes.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? Well, next gear review, we're gonna be like, dude, you should get the Canon T.
T69i.
We got. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, so Canon T8i with an 18 to 55 mil kit lens is $900, which is like under $1,000. I would say that's maybe your best bet.
Oh, so that's what you're picking out of this category.
I would say
you already
so.
just picked a little early
I was
there.
gonna
Oh,
prompt
sorry.
you guys.
Last one, we got the ZVE 10, $800. It also shoots slow motion,
Which is fun.
which is big. You're getting into that territory where you want to have a slow motion camera. Okay, you got to pick one. Go.
Yeah,
Costa's
yeah,
already
yeah.
picked early. T8i. Chase.
I'm gonna pick, because I actually kind of wanted this camera, the Sony Alpha A6400.
Okay.
Because it came out, I had the 6500, loved it. And I remember when that camera came out, I was like, oh, maybe I should do a little upgrade.
I'm gonna jump on the bandwagon. I'm coming right along with you
Come
on the
on.
boat, baby. We got the 6400s dual wielding. You know what I mean?
It's kind of crazy. Like, I feel bad because I shoot Sony, but I kind of early picked the Canon T8i.
It's okay. It happens.
Oh, there you go.
No, it happens. You want to jump brands.
I might. You know what?
I have Sony tattooed
Can
on
I
my
switch
chest.
back? Can I switch back? You know what? I honestly, here's the thing. There's 15% off Amazon right now. It's $1,000, but you can get it for $850. And I think I might go Sony A6400
Come
Nice.
hop
with
on
the
it.
So that's
16
what you're
to
gonna
50.
pick,
Yeah.
buddy. If you got
Yeah.
$500 to $1,000 to spend, it sounds like you're getting that camera, and we'll
Yeah.
respect you. You know?
After this range, though, you're kind of getting into, hey, I'm doing this thing.
You're doing it.
You're paying some bread.
You're
for
no
this camera.
longer just like doing a little hobby.
Yeah, it's not just a hobby anymore. You're like, hey, I'm taking this seriously, and this is going to be my thing. A few other things, though, and I think Chase will have some good stuff on this that you could invest in before you make that jump. You can invest in some things that'll make just the image prettier
Yes.
overall, or help you make a better video. And so I'm gonna give two things. I want you to give a couple for
All
me.
right, hey,
I'm a
take mine.
big believer in good audio.
He's a big audio guy.
Big audio guy because
But with a voice like that.
yeah,
Right.
dude, come on. You got to have good, clean audio, and I think a good set of lav mics.
Huge.
Couple $100. It's a big investment at the time, but it will not break on you, and you're better off. I always have the motto with you don't want to buy gear twice necessarily. I try to buy it once and have it last. So I'm gonna go a good set of mics or a good shotgun mic.
Yeah, and for the Little Rocks, having a mic will not help you with photography.
No, yeah.
Just for video. Yeah.
You show up to your photo shoot with a fucking mic.
You don't allow the model if you're just shooting photos of them. Just for audio. But yeah, I would do again, for me it's all about the glass. Just get as much like cool, like you can get a prime lens, like a really sharp.
What's
like
a prime lens?
Prime lens is a lens that doesn't zoom, so they're usually cheaper, and they're usually like faster, meaning they have a lower minimum f-stop, so you can get like 1.4 on a prime lens, and just like it gives you a new look. It's also pretty fun to shoot with a lens that doesn't zoom. It makes you like adapt to the world, and it's kind of a cool thing to do. So lenses, get as many weird ones as you can, cool ones, whatever. And then I would say gimbals fucking rock. And
Gimbals.
it changes you the way you shoot. Like sometimes I'm shooting and I'm like, this is pretty cool handheld, you know? And then I'm like, I'm kind of run out of ideas on how to shoot. Put it on a gimbal, all of a sudden I got new ideas. Cause I'm like, oh, I can do this. And like that really inspires you to shoot differently.
Do you remember how hyped I was to get a gimbal?
Oh my God, dude. He was the king of the gimbal.
I mean, he kind of is
because
gimbal king.
it so checks out with you, because you just like, I only want like steady stuff. Like it just drives him nuts to have like any of that, you know?
But going back to like you can't take better photos with a lav.
Right.
Another accessory is a flash.
Right.
And
That will help your photos.
that will help your
Not your
photos.
videos.
That won't help your videos.
videos.
We do have a couple of like specific recommendations within each of these accessories. As far as lighting goes, the brands that we like are Aperture, Godox, GVM, and Profoto. Those are kind of like the four big dogs. Depending on your price point, they have obviously different options.
Oh, Small Rig also came out with lights.
Nice.
They're a little cheaper. Aperture, I would call, they're like Apple of lights, and that like regular video people can't afford.
Right.
Because you're not going to go buy a $15,000 Airy sky panel. You know, Aperture makes the really like the YouTuber 101 light.
They're like the DJI of lights.
Exactly. I would say that too.
Yes.
That's a great comparison.
And then there's also like I wanted to touch on this because I was kind of ignorant to it, but like in like your film schools and on literally every big budget set I've ever been on, they use like the old school tungsten Mole Richardson is the brand. No one even knows the brand. It's just like those copper looking Fresnels. And there's the small ones. There's like the 1K Junior Solar Spot, which is like, because people are always asking like, oh, can you give me the 1K? Like, where's the 5K? Like, oh, I want to see the, and those are old school fucking lights, dude. They get hot as balls. You have to wear gloves to like literally move them, but it's a good thing to know what they are. You probably won't buy it. I don't even know if people buy them. You just like,
they just rent them,
they're
right?
just like on sets and you
They
just
just
need to
show
know
up.
about
You
them.
You can't buy them.
I mean, you can't. I actually looked it up. A 1K Solar Spot, which is a nice fucking light, $190. Yeah, it's cheap as shit because there's a billion of them and they're old, but they'll heat up your living room. You know what I mean? Like, don't use it in the summer.
Okay, there
Anyways,
it is.
so just know about those just in case people ask you about them.
in case they give you a call.
Yes. Okay. So we got lights. As far as lens brands go, I only have Sony lenses for my Sony body. However, you can do Sony, Canon, and then Sigma or Tamron are both kind of like, not like off-brand, but like kind of.
Yeah, we call it off-brand.
it's like
they're
cheaper
not the same brand that your camera body.
Yeah,
But they
it's
make great
They do.
lenses, and you're going to be able to find, you know, the same focal lengths as like Sony and Canon, but for a little bit cheaper.
And they make them for different mounts. I'd also throw out, if you're looking to get weird, the Laowas. They make Laowa is a weird Chinese camera brand that makes crazy
love 'em,
shit,
dude.
really, really wide. The probe lens, like weird stuff. Up and coming brand. So if you mention that on set again, people are going to give you high fives.
They rip, dude. Another one, lav mics. I just got the DJI lav mic.
Yeah, you like
I
them?
love them.
Nice.
Dude, they're
sick,
good.
bro. I have a hat.
Easier than the Sennheiser ones.
Dude, so much easier. The fucking Sennheiser ones
I
just
hated those.
randomly hiss, bro.
Oh, yeah.
They just be out
Yes.
there and you're just like, I'm like, what the fuck was that?
Right.
Okay, question for you. With the DJI ones, do you have to set the frequency?
No, dude, it just fucking
That's
goes.
how my roads
Bro,
are, dude. I just boop, boop.
Yesterday, I popped into a shoot, right? They're like, we need to lav this guy up in 30 seconds. I'm like, fuck. And I just,
nice.
walked up, boom, we're rolling. I'm like, I don't even know how I just
Do they
did
have
that.
the built-in mics on those? The
What do you-
DJ, you know, like a Rode Go,
Dude, yes, they can record into the thing,
which is
as
nice.
a safety backup.
But never fucking, dude. If I see another person with the whole receiver
Oh, they
on
gotta
their
stop
thing,
doing
don't
that.
do. Buy
Dude,
a lav mic.
I got a Shure lav mic to go with my
That's exactly what you should be
DJI
doing.
lav mic. So you get the actual
the
cord.
receiver.
The actual
Oh.
cord is from Shure.
Yes.
It's the best.
and you want that.
You
don't
want that.
fucking put the
No,
receiver
don't
in the
put
neck.
that big clunky thing
That's
up there
so
for me.
annoying.
It just looks so whack.
So
dude.
those DJI mics, you can get them with one transmitter and one receiver, which is $219, or you can get two transmitters and one receiver, which means you can mic up two people at the same time.
Nice.
Super easily.
Again,
That-
won't help your photos.
No, that costs $329. Okay, the Sennheiser EW 112 G4s, which is what I have, which I don't know if I would necessarily recommend now because the DJI ones are so good. Plus, they're
I have them too.
$650,
Yeah.
real
Like,
expensive.
So expensive.
Because they're just like industry, you know,
Industry.
but they suck.
yeah, but they're trash.
And then we have the Rode Wireless Go 2s, which are $300. So those are for
I love those.
Those are for lav mics. As far as shotgun mics go, we have the Rode. What?
He's a shotgun. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways,
Okay, so shotgun mics, we have Rode Video Mic Pro Plus for $260. And then we have the Joby Wavo Pro, which are $235, which is Casey Neistat endorsed.
And you'll be able to find cheaper ones of those brands that we mentioned. Don't feel like you got to buy like the tip top Video Mic Pro Plus.
right.
You know,
It's a nice mic
one.
though. You're gonna
Gimbals.
like it.
What do we got? You're the gimbal guy. Tell
Yeah,
me what
Kos,
we
let's go
got.
for
Okay,
it.
we have the DJI RS3 Pro, which is $869.
Shit.
Here's
That
the thing.
expensive?
Yeah, I know.
I got mine for like $400. It was the RS2. You know, used out of box, fucking refurbished, but
How much was it?
So
I think it was
Chase.
like $400.
Nice.
Still works.
So I use an RS2. I feel like you could probably buy one for like what, $400?
That's what I did.
Yeah.
Still works.
And the RS2 is great. Okay, you also have the Ronin RS3 Mini, which depending on how heavy your camera is, it only has a certain like weight limit that it can use. But if you're using a little Pebble,
Right.
You can get the RS3 Mini for $369. So those are both from DJI. Now there's another company called Zhiyun, which is kind of like a direct competitor. They also make gimbals. They just dropped the Zhiyun Crane 4 for $670, or the Zhiyun Weeble 3, which is basically the equivalent to the RS3 Mini for $300.
So they're just trying to play a little ball with the big dogs.
Yeah.
But if you're gonna get a gimbal, I would highly recommend going, more likely than not, DJI
do it
or
right.
Zhiyun.
Yeah, they do it real good.
Moving on to ND filters, we really only recommend one because I've
Yes.
used other ones and they vignette and they're blue and it's weird. So just shell the money. It's worth it. Get
Yeah.
the Polar Pro Peter McKinnon ND filters. They rock.
And you can get step up rings or step down rings
To
if
make
you
them
have
fit.
different sizes of lenses and whatnot.
We wanted to have this conversation on the pod because me and Brain got in a really heated argument.
No, dude.
Okay.
Yeah, tell him.
So
about
the
this.
new-
This is a great. Yeah, this is amazing. Ask Chase's idea.
Okay.
I'm not gonna tell you.
Wait,
anything.
don't tell me side. Just tell me what it is.
Yeah,
See where I come
I'm
from.
not gonna tell
Did you
anything.
see the new ND filter that Polar Pro came out with Peter McKinnon?
I saw it briefly. I don't know enough.
Essentially, instead of in the past you would screw it on the thread.
Yeah.
Now you can just pinch two sides and take it off.
Okay.
Okay. So
I already have an opinion. But
okay.
So,
Okay.
do you think it's? And I believe the new ones are about $100
$100 more
Okay.
for it to just
pinch.
fucking clip off.
So, do you think it's worth it? And is it that
I
innovative?
have a thought, and it's going to be, I think, it's different than you guys' thought.
Okay.
I would like that because ND filters spin.
Okay.
Polarizers, circular polarizers, spin forever, right?
Okay.
Taking a polarizer off an ND filter on your camera, it's literally impossible. You can't get it off. And so if I could pinch it off, that'd be really fucking nice.
I have a yield.
Okay.
What about on these things, right? It's specific for their system. So you can't even thread another.
Oh, you can't?
No.
Oh, but then I'm not buying it.
Okay. So
I don't like stacking filters, but I have to a lot
my
of time.
reasoning for not hating on it, but not saying that I would spend the $100 on it was because I was telling Costas, I use ND inside
Same.
to be at the native ISO of the camera.
Right.
And so I think it's innovative to take off, to clip it off, innovative. That's
Yeah.
cooler than threading it.
Yeah.
But I don't think anyone fucking needs it because you would just bump your native ISO of the camera. I would never I never take it off.
So you never take off your ND,
No.
even if it's dark?
No, if it was like fucking horribly dark, I would take it off. But I would be at 12,800 ISO and I probably wouldn't need to take it off.
With your Sony
I would put it
shits.
to 2 stops of ND.
Right.
That was my only thing. That was just what I was thinking. I was like, I haven't had a situation or
So you're not taking it off and on a lot.
never taken it off and on. Also, in the big dog cameras, they have them fucking built in.
Right. So, but when I was using like the R5 to shoot videos with,
take 'em off
and
a
I would
lot?
use the Polar Pro thing. No, I'd keep it on almost the entire shoot until it was sun had
got
set,
dark.
and then I take it off for the rest of the night. And I'm shooting other stuff, and then in the morning I put it back on.
Okay.
So I take it off like once a day.
Once a day.
So that wouldn't really help me that much. I'm not like taking it out, putting it back on. But for photos, maybe it's a
For
little different.
photos,
If you're doing photo and video,
could be a vibe.
That could be a
Could
vibe.
be a vibe to just like quick jump, boom, right
Yeah.
in the pocket. Yeah.
The reason me and Braden got into it was because he was like, it seemed like your argument was like, this is fucking bullshit. This is stupid. Like, this isn't even that innovative. And I was like, bro, they already have like the best ND
What are they
filter
gonna
on the
do?
market. If they're trying to like, make a new product, like what else are you going to change? It's like, okay, that is pretty cool to take it
To
off.
clip it
like,
off.
Yeah.
like, I don't know right now if I would throw out my
No,
old ND
but if you're
filter
gonna
and
buy
go,
a new one?
yeah, I think it'd be nice to have. But
It's a nice to have, but it's not necessary.
But an extra $100
I don't know if it's worth $100.
I also though like he was making the argument of like in sports he's using like
2 stops
ND
of
filters.
ND.
Right.
I'm like I've never thought to use an ND filter inside.
Most video people that are shooting wide open are using ND,
Yeah, I always got like at least 2 on. I feel like with the C70,
which is where my point goes to where it would be
you're just not taking it off
you're
and on enough to warrant it.
Exactly. That's my point.
Yeah, I agree with you.
That's my point.
Yeah.
I
Anyways.
definitely see your point.
But I see the innovation in what they did. I
Yeah.
now see your point because I was very like, fuck you, Kostas, you're wrong.
Right.
But
Yeah.
no, he's innovative to the clippy thing.
Dude, we were about to throw hands.
Dude, I
in
love
here.
that.
That's
dude.
just not how I felt at all.
Dude, I don't know what it is with age. Sorry, pause, but
Age?
your boy's blood gets boiling, dude. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's just like that I'm not like sleeping as well lately or something.
Kid keeps
But, like,
taking the mic
I
off
was,
the table.
dude, I was gonna fucking
it off
cross
there,
the
dude.
street and just a biker was just minding their own business, biking by me, and I was like, "Why the fuck are you there?" Like I was just like, and my blood just like, I don't know what it is, dude. I really need to rein the fuck in.
It just happens, dude.
it's
Dude,
crazy.
It
I
just
never used to
happens.
feel like that.
No,
Maybe you
yeah.
got through menopause.
I got rage.
No,
dude.
I think the other. I'll tell you guys a great story. Okay. So there was a fucking student driver in front of me. I try not to mess with them.
Yeah,
I really do.
yeah,
I try
right,
not to
right.
make. I try not to make it a thing, even though I really want to all the time. Right. Student driver in front of me. There's cars on both sides. Right. So this is the student driver.
Yep.
This is me. There's fucking nobody here, so I can go right.
Right.
Well, Dickle Fritz McGee here in the
Nice.
front. He won't fucking pull up. He has a 3-car length
Oh,
thing
no.
in front of
Oh.
him. So I go, hey, I give him a light tap. I go, dude, you just gotta move up just a little bit,
Yeah,
dude. I know
yeah,
you're in
yeah.
the test thing.
Yeah.
I know you're.
Like the horn?
Light tap, real light tap, dude.
He just pushing the car with his car.
He doesn't fucking move. I go, hey, honk, honk, but he doesn't move. I'm like, all right, this is it. We're gonna ruin the whole driving test. Fucking lean on the thing for like 14 seconds, dude. The guy, I like see the driving instructor's panic. He's like, are we gonna get beat up right now by this guy? And I'm like, move the fuck forward, dude. Move forward. We got places to be,
Dude.
And then he moved. He didn't move up. He never moved up, dude. We sat there for like, and the guy behind me, he starts honking at me now. He's like, yo, move the
Why are you
fuck
going?
up, dude.
Yeah.
Why aren't you going?
Why could you not hit that?
There was a car parked to the right of it,
Yeah.
and he has 3 car spaces. So, and we were both behind
And
him.
you're trying to get-
We're trying to go right, and so now the guy behind me is
I know
gonna
this
kill.
feeling.
Now he's gonna kill me, and I'm like, dude, please
Yeah.
move up. You have 3 car lengths.
Right.
Fuck
So,
that,
hey,
dude.
That
if you're-
drives me insane.
If you're driving, dude, you're getting your thing. 1 car length's all you
get
need,
in
dude.
there. Yeah.
If
Yeah.
that. Tell me.
Hot take. I think cars should put horns in the front and back. So I think I think it'd be fun to be able to like honk back at somebody. If someone honks at you, you'd be like, oh,
That's
check me out.
funny, dude.
Dude,
to you.
I just want to have like a mini intercom system where if you're within like 20 feet of a car,
Okay.
then you can be heard and you can just communicate
like
a little
COD?
bit. Yeah, like COD. You know, like right after you kill someone in Warzone, you can hear them. It's like the same thing. Where if you're really close, you can hear them.
Braden, you should set your Tesla honk thing to just you like raging.
Like your
Just
voice.
screaming. Just
It'd be so funny if you're like, fucking move, dude. And you just
Dude,
hit
it was just insane. And I was like, bro, this guy behind me is now going to kill me. So please, dude, 1 card length's all you need.
What a car length.
I could so see Elon incorporating into the new Teslas like a screen on the back of the car, and so it's like if someone honks at you, you just like turn it on, and you're
Oh.
like talking to the screen, but they can see you in back
It's like
of
films
you.
it from the
Bro,
steering wheel.
just-
What's up, dog?
It's just fucking wild, bro. But I feel you on the thing. I also think that another thing that you could potentially cop is external hard drives.
No, you
And
need 'em.
I really trust the Samsung T5 S7. They have Samsung is great. We have some SanDisks. Phone didn't need it.
didn't need it.
No, did not need the phone. SanDisk. I have heard from the grapevine that they're dying on people.
What?
Yeah, the SSD. So I would be careful with buying those SSDs because the storage isn't something you want to cheap out on.
No.
All your clients are paying you bread, and if you do lose that stuff, you guys owe them a free shoot.
It's gonna suck.
So don't do that. Don't get yourself
Yeah.
in this situation. Just buy an expensive
I like
drive.
the Samsung T7s and I just rip them, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are great. I was gonna ask you. You spend a lot of money on storage. How's your RAID
It
system?
looks
coming?
great. It's in the corner in those 3 big boxes.
Braden spends
Come
so
on, dude.
much
No,
money.
no, he's right though.
Huh. Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah,
to do that.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
the move.
But-
You got to get a big storage, and you have the little shuttle
Bro,
drive.
it just
drives.
it costs. It's gonna be like 7,000 when it's all said and done.
Doesn't
and so,
make good.
so I bought 2 on Prime Day. I was like not gonna go on Prime Day, but then
I love Prime Day.
2 new hard drives came out that I needed for the drive because I only have 4 and I need 6.
Oh, to fill it through. Yeah.
Yeah, so I've been kind of chipping away at them every month, getting a couple
I love a
drives. Next up, we got camera bags. What do you got with the camera bags?
I'm a Peak Design guy.
Okay.
I like the Peak Design. I like how modular it is. I like
You
how
have a
they
different
look.
brand.
DB, or formerly known as douchebags.
Oh, it's formerly known. They don't call it that anymore.
They call it DB now. They had to
Funny.
rebrand.
That's
But
funny.
douchebags is such a funny name.
It's such a good name.
They should have kept it.
Yeah, I would say peak design or douchebags. What do you use?
Yeah, I have Encase. Encase cheap. It's
Made
like
it up.
150 bucks.
Nikon?
150 bucks. It's cheap.
I didn't know Nikon made camera bags.
Do you keep your Nikon in that bag?
Yeah, I keep the potatoes in that bag. You also could rig up your camera a little
Yeah,
bit. You could put
Sure.
a cage on
big,
it.
Big rig up guy,
Then
Braden.
you can put a top handle, and I'm a sucker for the top handle
Yep.
shot, so I really like that one. Or you could buy a monitor, Shinobi, Atomos. They make great
Mm-hmm.
monitors that are they're a little on the cheaper end, but they're still really high quality. You got port keys. They also make
Yeah,
monitors. You
cheap
also have
monitor, port
small
keys.
HD is the Apple of monitors. So if you're thinking about about, monitors, you go check them out, the prices. A lot of them have different functions that
Right.
they're able to do. So that's why I bought the expensive one.
What's really nice about having a monitor, I actually don't own one, but I was shooting an event and I was like second shooting. The main guy who was shooting the event had a monitor and he had a LUT built into the monitor.
Got it.
That's got it.
Now, what's really nice about that is when the client is looking over your shoulder or looking at footage, one, they have a bigger screen to look at, but if you have the LUT built in and let's say you're shooting on like a flatter picture profile like S-Log3, it looks phenomenal.
Yeah.
So then the client is super hyped because they're like, oh my God, that looks so good.
Yeah. The only bummer is that when you do that and then they think it's going to look one way and then you like show them the first cut and you didn't color it yet. And they're like, what the fuck? What is this?
Like, you don't color first cut?
No, dude.
Interesting.
You let them tear it into it.
I didn't know. I just let them focus on picture and then I show, and then I do, and then I do
bang.
color.
Oh,
They're
that's
like,
fair.
oh my God.
Going back to ND filters, there's also for photography, there's also and video, there's filters that you can get that kind of get you cool effects. And the company Prism Lens Effects makes some really cool, like just lenses that you can screw on that give you different
shit.
effects.
I really like a
kinds of
Pro Mist, a
crazy-
black Pro Mist. I think they're cool.
I
And
got
then-
a Pro Mist on the new ZVE1.
Yeah, Promise is nice.
Yeah, little
dude.
tiny
I got,
baby.
now I got vintage glass. I got that OG Pro Mist.
Come on.
dude.
Oh,
baby.
shit. And then one last accessory is a flash for photography. Won't make your videos any better. But the one that I use is the Godox V860 Mark III.
Nice.
And that's $230. There's also the Godox V1, which is $260. Sony and Canon both make flashes, but they're more expensive. And a lot of people I've seen in specifically the music industry use the Godox V860 like 3 or whatever, and they rip. And I would say it's about like half or a third of the price of like a good Sony or Canon
So unlike
flash.
Costas to be
I
buying
know.
off-brand
You
shit.
know how much
I
my
know.
flash cost? $8 on eBay. Because I love just that look of like the shitty, hard as fuck light flash, and it was $8.
Let's go, dude. We got a new segment on the show this evening. So Keon is actually going to read some fan questions, and we're just going to fire through them. Keon, lob us up number one.
First off, I just wanted to shout out the homie in Australia that said I have a nice voice. I appreciate that.
You do have a nice
And
voice,
you do.
dude.
It's pretty cool that we got listeners worldwide. So
International, dude. Mr. Worldwide.
Global.
Not surprised.
Into the raw questions though. So first one we got: when doing work with/for friends, do you charge money, collab for free, or give a discount?
I think it depends on the friend, and if they're in our space, then I'd probably do a favor, but I'm going to expect a favor back if we're doing if we're running favors. But you can't get into a game of doing everyone calls you a favor.
I also feel like if you say a company's like, we have this big budget for you to spend on, like other people, like a camera operator for this job, I feel like you give your friends extra bread.
yeah.
I've been in a position where like I would hire someone like $500 to like gimbal rig for 4 hours, but like I'll give Kostas $1,000 to do it because he's my boy, dude. You know what I mean? Like,
Get your friends fed.
You're a good guy.
Give your friends extra money if you're getting the budget. You don't ask them to do it for cheaper because they're your friend.
Yeah,
give
I
them
think
more
so
money.
too. Especially, my biggest fucking pet peeve is random people asking me to film their weddings that I'm not tight with. I'm like, dude, do you think I just fucking want to do your wedding for free? Do you think I want to do that?
Sidebar, dude.
Can I film your divorce and your second wedding as well?
Oh, dude.
Got him.
Put it there, dude.
Sadiq Anyways, what was I going to say? Something about something. Oh, weddings. If you're going to ask me to do your wedding, it better be like somewhere dope that you're going to fly me and keep me up. And then you don't have to pay me, dude. But you're like, hey, do you want a free vacation to Barbados? And like, you might just film for a day. Yeah, I'll do that.
There it is.
But I'm not going to like do it as my income, bro.
Also-
Fucking the Inland Empire.
Just let the Inland Empire have it.
Yeah.
Yeah, fuck the IE. No, you made me laugh because you told your friend you would film their wedding and you got lit and you're like,
Oh,
dude,
I was
I was
lit.
doing whip hands and you're like, dude, I'm crushing this wedding. And then looking at the footage back, you're like, oh, dude, I was kind of
Because
lit.
I thought it was just like a friend. Like he's like, can you just like get some stuff? So I was just like, it was like my buddy. So I'm like drinking, having a really good time. And then he was like, hey, we're gonna give you like money to like edit this. And he's like, we never talked about price. Like, and I was like, oh, that's like money, dude. So then I just saved it in the edit, dude. I edited so hard because I
You're
was
the best at doing that.
I was polishing a turd, dude. Because my footage was just like, ah.
What I also find frustrating is if your friend, or not even a friend, but if someone you know comes to you and like they expect you to give them a discount,
Right.
that's just like rubs me the wrong way, which I don't like.
I honestly feel like if it's a friend, like if I really like you, like I'm gonna do it for free. Mm-hmm. Like my friend's
Sure.
wedding, I was just like fully gonna do it for free because he's
Totally,
my boy.
totally.
You know? Or like don't pay me just a little bit.
Yeah.
That's what's gonna bother me. Either you give me extra money or you give me no money. Or
And I'm
like,
doing a friend favor for you. Yeah, I'm with you.
Like my friend just proposed. I'm like, dude, he's like, how much should I pay you? I'm like, you're not gonna pay
Yeah.
me, dude. Like you're my
I
boy.
totally agree with you. That's the way
Don't pay me at all.
I think that's the way to do it. It's
Yeah.
either nothing or the full regular.
Yes.
Like that's
Yes.
that's what it is. Give me number 2.
Okay, this one might be a little tricky, but how to get through low spots in engagement and how to push through plateaus.
Keep posting.
Buy new gear.
Yeah, buy new gear and keep posting. Nothing's gonna. You're gonna be able to do nothing with stopping. So you might as well just keep posting.
Yeah.
You know, and I think that you have to have a good enough sample size to even diagnose what that problem is. So it needs to be at least like 30 to 50 good pieces, and then you can be like, oh, okay, that style didn't work. Let's try something
Yeah, I
else.
was gonna say, or make a big change.
Yeah.
Just try
Yeah.
something completely
Yeah.
different.
Yeah, I totally agree with that because, you know, I've gone from anywhere from like 1 post a week for the pod to 4 a day. And like you can kind of just learn from it, and the bigger sample size definitely does help. But next we got, have y'all thought about doing a 505 photo/video meetup?
Oh, dude, it
Oh,
is
down,
it is
dude.
in the works. We're working on it as a team as we speak. So
Oh, are we?
Yeah, we're letting you
Yeah,
guys
well,
know.
us three as a team
We'll let you guys
know
know
everything about it.
We'll let you guys know when that's happening.
Yeah, but I am so down, dude. That'd be so fun.
Love to do that. You guys should DM Key on the pod account if you're down for a meetup.
I think just with the meetup, like we want to have it be worth your guys' time.
I don't want it to be a group circle jerk, dude. I hate those, bro. I hate seeing
Yes.
meetup videos, bro, and they're like in a circle, kumbaya. I'm like, that's weird. And I wouldn't personally want
Yeah.
to go to
It's gonna
someone's
be
meetup
like,
like
we're
that.
gonna, like,
we're
do
gonna do a
something.
thing, bro. We're gonna go shoot something.
Yeah, maybe
or
we meet up in like on a hike and like
or we
shoot something.
beach it up or
Yeah.
something, dude. Something fun.
No,
you
but
know?
not just like you
Yeah.
meet us and we like look cool. you
Yeah,
know?
it's just that's just so weird
Yeah,
when
that's-
people
that's-
do those meetups, dude.
Yeah, that's
and
not
people
it.
are like, "Hey, I'm Mike."
Yeah.
you know, and you're trying to talk to the person like you want to have a fun thing. Okay, next question.
If you have to choose one camera to work with for the rest of your life, which would it be?
That's out currently.
That's out currently. Yeah. Okay, go.
Oh, you go
Okay, I
know?
will take the Canon C70.
forever.
No, I'll take the Canon FX6. Take it back.
That's Sony.
Love the
Sony,
Canon FX6.
The Canon and Sony had a baby. No, Sony FX6. I'll take the FX6.
I can only use one forever.
Small enough, but
What
big.
about with a lens? Like, is it just a?
You just have like a
just
classic
one camera.
24/7.
just the body? Just the body.
You know, I think.
Taking that.
Oh,
FX6.
dude, got it, dude. R5C. Little hybrid action. I like to shoot photos, dude. I've been into photos lately, but I want that pro video shit.
Boom.
I'm gonna go
That's Canon, by the way.
a Leica M like 10
dude,
or
he
11
fucking would, dude.
because I'm
I'll take the Airy.
no,
88 grand.
Fuck y'all. I'm leaning more towards
unreal.
photography,
he's
right?
He's on the photo shit,
Okay.
dude.
I can film stuff on. Hold on, Brayden. I'm not done. I can film stuff on my phone, right? Whatever. Do the social media stuff, and I'd rather have a really sick photo camera. Like I'm gonna go Leica, and
Respect.
then have different lenses.
I like that.
Another
yeah.
paperweight for the fucking thing. Here we go.
You just
Next up.
can't even afford a Leica, so just stop talking.
Advice to someone in a developing country who wants to be a full-time creative.
I would say if foreign people are visiting your country, I would attempt to meet with them and try to talk to them about their various businesses and see if there's any way if I could help them remotely. Also, Upwork also has solid opportunities if you are in a developing country. There's a lot of good editors on there from all different parts of the world. So I would attempt to work with a US based company that is going to pay me more, or a UK based company that'll pay me more than whatever my developing country is going to be ever capable of paying me. It might be less than a person in the US, but at least it'll be a lot higher than whatever my country's minimum wage probably is.
Last one, tips and tricks for being a hybrid shooter.
Hit them.
Yeah, you're the most hybrid.
Okay, well this goes.
like a
This
Prius,
is
you know?
interesting because I actually just shot a concert for the first time in like 3 months. I would say.
Okay.
Felt good to be back on stage.
There
Let
you
me
go.
tell you, the kid hasn't missed a beat. I right now I'm only using a Sony A1, and I was doing both photo and video. I wish I had, because it's so run and gun. I wish I had 2 separate bodies, one for photo and one for video, which is what I used to have, and I kind of miss it. And that's because I was using a gimbal. And then you're putting the gimbal on,
Right.
you're filming you're filming with the gimbal, then you have to turn the gimbal off, take the camera off. If you're switching lenses, you have to like then rebalance the gimbal. It's just a lot. But specifically if you're shooting concerts and you're running gun, like I would advise you to have two bodies if you can.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of other pieces of advice for hybrid shooters. I mean, you mainly lean video. You do photo and video.
Yeah, I really only get paid to do video. I do photo for fun. But if like I'm on a trip and I want to do both, because I always do, if I'm like going on a camping trip or like an exciting thing, I usually do both. Is what I do. I fucking have a Dizzler set up, a little hybrid, like a R5.
Yeah.
I put an ND on it, 2 to 5 stops that I leave on there basically the whole time for photos and videos. And I usually
leave it on there?
I just leave it on there. And then I just, I shoot fucking video on one, and you just gotta have a quick dial. You gotta be like C1 or C2, make it custom.
Yeah.
You have your video setting, boom. And then you switch to your photo setting, which is like a normal photo setting. And then you're gonna have to adjust the aperture and stuff. And then I usually just crank the ND down to 2 because I'll like increase the shutter speed so it's not like slow as fuck or like motion blurry. And I just rip them both. And I usually just do handheld then. If I'm doing both, almost always handheld because
no rig and
it's
all
too
that stuff.
hard to like
Yeah.
ungimbal, re-gimbal, all that shit.
Because there's two ways to answer the question. There's one on like the technical side of like the gear that you use.
Yeah, that's where I went.
But then there's the other side of like, how do you market yourself maybe as a hybrid shooter and like tips for that, which is interesting. And I don't know if I necessarily have advice because I'm still trying to figure it out. You know what I'm saying? Like
Right.
I have, as a hybrid shooter, right? I can do both photo and video and I get paid to do both, but I'd prefer to just do photo or lean more towards photo. So I would say it's better to like if you can do both, but like have a preference of what your like branding is. I think it's like do one for more like fun or like, okay, you can do it and you get paid for it, but then like really go hard at one or the other. Pick which one you kind of like enjoy doing for work more and kind of lean more into that.
Niching down is always helpful.
Hit me.
That was it.
Oh, great, dude. What a great little segment.
All right, let's get back to the equipment and the prices and all the shit we were doing
Yes,
earlier.
absolutely. So we're in Rockland. Okay.
Little Rockland or Rockland?
This is gonna be like medium Rockland. You know, $1,000 to $2,500.
Nice.
You're a rock, dude. You've made it to Rockland.
Yeah, you're
up
probably
there.
getting paid to make videos or photos.
You're getting paid to make some stuff, and I'm gonna start us off with the first camera on this list. I would say this is more of a creator camera, but you could definitely use this camera to get paid. And this is the ZVE1. You got full frame, you got 60 frames per second, you got 4K, dual native ISO. Can't say enough good things about it.
How much is that?
You bought it recently?
It is $2,400, but if you get on the B&H Creator Program, $2,000 out the
Still
door.
bullshit that I'm not.
And what's interesting about this is that's just the body. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So once you're getting into these like more expensive camera bodies, it's like you're only buying the body. You're like when you're in that like under 1,000 range, you're
Usually
gonna be
comes with the lens.
it comes with the kit lens. But once you get into more expensive cameras, it's like, hey, I'm just buying the camera or I'm just getting the lens. They no longer really come together.
Dude, really quick, this fucking PA on the last set I was on was like, saw me like shooting stuff with the camera, as you do when you're on set. And she comes up to me like while I'm shooting and she goes, hey, I'm like thinking about buying a camera. Like, I really want to get like wide angles. Like, do you think I should buy a lens? And I was like, so either way, you're going to need a lens, right? Like if you're going to shoot anything with a camera, you need a lens. She's like, yeah, I really like those wide angles. So I think I have to buy a lens. I was like, yeah, a wide angle lens for wide angle shots. Yeah, but you're still going to need a lens for all the other shots too. I was like, it doesn't work with just no lens. So anyways.
You should have been like, you know what? Now that I'm thinking about it, I don't know if I've ever seen someone shoot wide angle with a telephoto lens. That could be the separating factor.
Yeah, they could really change things up for you. Yeah, don't do that.
Dude, next camera up.
Has anyone ever, I don't know if you actually could, but like throwing a fisheye like adapter onto like a 70 to 200 could be interesting, but I don't know if that would work at all.
Feels like you're in space.
No idea.
Maybe. Next up, we got our good buddy Jack Cook's new camera, the FX30. So it's a crop sensor.
By Sony.
But by Sony. It also takes photos, which is pretty cool. But I am a big fan of the full frame situation if you're getting into this ballpark of cameras and how much they cost.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Next up, what do we got?
Sony A6700.
Just came out.
It just came out.
Their numbering system makes no sense. Which is better than what? I don't know.
I don't know. We're flipping around there, but
That's for $1,400. That's just the body. Now you get 26 megapixels, an APS-C sensor. You get 4K 60, 6K oversampled, 422 10-bit recording with log, and which is interesting because the other cameras can't shoot log, and once you get into log, like the
cheaper cameras,
you can't shoot log. So shooting log, I mean, I recently switched
life
over
changing, huh?
S-Log 3
You gotta.
with a conversion light and a finishing light. Oh boy, your colors are going to look phenomenal.
Yeah, all these cameras shoot log. Yeah.
Tell me
Yeah,
what we got
definitely
next.
I'm looking at the Sony A7R III. It's a beast for photography. It can shoot video, but it's not really made to shoot video. It's made for like insane photography. It has 42.4 fucking megapixels, which is insane. Like you
Yeah.
could literally take a picture, zoom in, and it would still be sharp as shit. It's full frame, which is dope. Super wide dynamic range, especially again, like the photography raw imaging is just nuts on it because it has 14-bit uncompressed raw, dude. That's so nuts. There's so much fucking detail you can pull out of that stuff. ISO 50 to 100,000. 102,000. Wait, someone spelled the fucking number wrong, dude. Why there's so many zeros in there?
No, it's definitely
100,000.
102,400. Just don't go that high.
Yeah.
You probably don't go that high.
It has ISO on it. It has up to 10 frames continuous shooting, which is nice if you're shooting like sports
Yeah.
or like quick stuff.
What I will say is specifically within the Sony systems, the A7 series, right? You get the A7 like 3 or 4, but then you have the A7R or the A7S, and then there's a number after
Yep.
it. The A7R series better for photo, A7S series better for video.
Yeah.
I love that. I love that.
There's also the Canon R6, which is a camera I own. I really enjoy it a lot. I think it's a sneaky. I think it went under the radar as a sneaky good camera. You can get a little deal on it. So it's like $2,000. That's how much I bought mine for off Facebook Marketplace, actually. It's just... What?
No, you go.
It's just a total hybrid, dude. 20 megapixels photography looks really, really nice. Like you can shoot pro. Like, I mean, I've seen a lot of people shoot pro photos on like photo shoots with it, especially like cars and stuff. 4K 60. It has log recording, obviously. 1080p, 120 frames per second, which is nice. That's a lot of slow-mo.
Fun.
10-bit internal video, which is like really, you get a lot of range on that thing. And it has solid internal 5-axis stabilization.
There
which
it is.
nice.
And these last two, we're just going to throw these on here for charity. This is the Fuji X-H2 APS-C sensor. Fuji, though, does have some really cool color
Yeah, they got interesting
situations.
stuff going on.
They got some very cool colors that you can pick from that are already like built into their cameras. They got really good film emulations and whatnot. So check out Fuji. I know people that have shot Fuji in the past that were photographers particularly, and they had great images. It was gorgeous, and it was very specific. And I think something interesting to note, we've listed a lot of Sony and Canon cameras. You potentially could go with a different brand and have a very different look that makes you unique.
Yeah,
so
totally.
something to think about is a lot of photographers, a lot of video people are using Canon and Sony, but they are really good at their respective things. That's why people use them.
Right.
But you could check out these other brands that we haven't listed
Yeah.
on the show.
The Fuji X100V is $2,000. Now this camera you're gonna get for photography. I don't even know if it can shoot video. This is basically like a baby off-brand like a Q2, and I was looking at both of these when I was looking to buy a point and shoot specifically for photography. What's really cool about the Fujifilms, like we talked about, is like it has film emulation. So like it's basically built-in presets, like photo presets. So you can take photos and it looks like it was taken on a film camera, but this camera has gotten a lot of hype. It came out like a couple years ago, but because of TikTok, it's really hard to get now, but it has a lot of hype. And the images that I've seen that come out of this camera are like really solid. And it's a super great camera, I think, for $2,000 if you're looking to get a photo specific camera.
Yes. So let's pick.
Ooh, I'm going to go with the... in Rockland, I'll take my camera. Sony ZV-1.
Yeah, I was also going to take your camera, actually. I think that's the thing's a beast. I like that it's white. It's kind of fun. I really like my R6. I like throwing a little vintage glass on it. It really makes it look like film. And the vintage glass is like $150 for a Canon FD like lens. And so you can get a ton of stuff, but kind of a bugger to use. I would go with your camera.
Can your camera shoot photo?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Like if I could just buy one camera, I would buy your camera.
That's really kind of you.
I like the R6 as a second cam, but
Let's go. What do you think? Come on, come hang out. You want to.
I do want to hang out, but
going
just
against the
because
grain.
to go against the grain, I'm gonna go Fujifilm X100V.
Ooh.
Yeah,
Fun.
he's
Yeah,
going, I like that he's branching into photography only, dude. It's kind of a nice little juxtaposition on the pod.
We got Rockland
Ooh,
up
yeah.
next. Okay, this is $2,500, $4,500. There's a lot of fun cameras in here. These are expensive, dudes. Save your bread. And I don't really want to go crazy into the specs. You guys can Google all of that stuff.
The specs get deep.
Yeah, they
when it
get
gets to
deep
this
on
land.
every single camera that we're gonna list. Just trust us that they're good. That's why they're expensive. Okay.
Right.
First up, we got the Sony A7 IV. This is the hybrid camera. They can shoot real good photo, solid video. Might overheat on you if you're certain for crazy long periods of time. So something
Super hybrid,
Something
this
to
camera.
think about
Yeah.
if you're a video first person. Maybe you have a video camera and a dedicated photo camera.
Yeah.
When the first full frame camera that I believe both me and you got, Chase, did you get the A7 III?
I bought the A7S III for about a week and a half.
Oh, S3. I got
Yeah.
the A7 III.
No, I got
yeah,
the
you
A7
had
III.
that. I remember
I had
that.
the
I never
A7
had
III.
that camera.
Oh.
I went from A6500 to A7S III, dude.
Oh, nice.
And then I sold them by the Komodo with my boy.
So here's the thing.
I
I've
sold
also
it.
seen rumors that the A7 V is about to drop. Sony posted something about that, which is crazy. So this camera might even like drop a little bit in price. But if you're looking for a really solid like hybrid camera, I would highly recommend the Sony A7 IV.
Canon's got another one, huh?
Yeah, the R6 II. I didn't even know this camera existed until
neither.
about a week ago. It's like the evolution. It's like a Pokemon. You know, went from Pikachu to Raichu, dude.
Nice.
Yes.
Yeah,
that
I
was
think
great.
that's right.
Yeah,
right?
no, 100%.
Yeah. It's just a better camera than the R6, but similar again body. It's 24.5 megapixels and shit, 4K.
Now you use the next
60.
camera here. What is that next camera? You used this one before, right?
Yeah, dude.
You love that camera.
The Canon R5. It's a beast. It can shoot video, and it was marketed as like this 8K raw beast. It's not made for video. It's an incredible photography camera, and like big name photographers like Aaron Brimhall still uses this camera. He's always rocked it on like when I shot with him, was rocking it. It's always in his YouTube shits. Peter McKinnon, I think he might use the R5C now, but he used it for a long time for photography. And like most of the photographers I ever work with are shooting on an R5 for like really big budget camera stuff. It's just, you have a shit ton of megapixels, 45. The Canon color science is so nice. And it's just like an absolute beast for photography. And then it can shoot 8K raw video internally, which is ridiculous, but it's going to ruin your computer, and it can like shoot it for like 10 seconds before it overheats. So it's really not meant for video.
Going off of that and going back to the accessories that we recommend, something that I was running into, and I'm sure you guys ran into too, is like as you upgrade your camera gear, like you kind of also have to upgrade your computer.
Yeah,
because
it's true.
like
Yeah, it's a
with the
great
higher
point.
megapixels or like 4K or even 8K, like some of your computers, most computers like cannot handle that. So before you even like upgrade to an even nicer camera, I would highly recommend upgrading your computer, because there's nothing worse than being slowed down in the
dude.
editing process.
And it's going to make you
by your,
worse.
yeah, by your slow.
Makes
Yeah.
you want to
creator.
break the laptop over
Yeah.
the knee.
Yeah.
And then you can make less money because you can finish less
I'm
videos
sure
or
we've
photos.
all went through. There was the period of time where your laptop is breaking and it's like crying and like
because we went
for
we,
like 27
I
minutes.
think right now we're in a period, us three are in a period where like our computer is like better than our cameras, but
Yes.
like it's gonna flip again, because there was a while where my camera was way better than my computer and it sucked. And it's once our computers get outdated or the cameras get better, we're gonna flip again and it's gonna suck again.
maybe Apple, I feel like, has figured that out with the M2
Yeah.
and the M1.
Yeah,
but
it still fucks up the C70 footage.
C70, it's amazing stuff. Next up, we got the FX3 coming at a whopping $3,900, dude. I had the FX3 before it got stolen. Great stuff. Make
Yeah.
sure you buy insurance.
This camera does not come with an AirTag or any location
Yeah,
services.
so please make sure you duct tape one to its top. This is a great camera. I love the FX3. It produces a great image. I feel like this is the little brother of the FX6
Totally.
and the FX9. You could use this as like your C camera if you were a big dog
Totally.
Sony shooter and you wanted to throw this.
It's got
on
pro
set.
audio on it,
Pro
which is a
audio.
big
That's the big
differentiation.
one. That's the big one. What else we got next?
Well, real quick, explain to the people, like, what does having pro audio built into the camera allow you to do?
It's just nicer quality. Like it just sounds a little
What
bit
does that
better.
mean, though,
Yeah,
exactly?
it's instead of having the traditional little baby mic jack,
Yep.
it has an XLR input, which is exactly what's going into this. So it has this microphone right here is an XLR input, and that's what's going to be able to go into the camera. And you're just able to get a cleaner sound, and also the nicer audio recording devices use XLR inputs. And so just something to think about as you kind of rise the ranks. I was really juiced up about that because you get a nicer Rode shotgun mic. It's still a shotgun mic, but it's $1,000 and it's way nicer than
the one that comes with it. I forgot about that.
So
or it doesn't come with it, but it fits on it.
Yeah, so you get like $1,000 mic, and the difference when it's doing a $1,000 mic and a $200 mic is drastic.
Yes.
So something to think about as you kind of rise the ranks of audio and whatnot.
And the FX3 is interesting compared to the first couple cameras that we said, because I would say if you're really leaning towards video, you would go with an FX3, but like the other cameras, you can still get away with like hybrid. But like if you show up to shoot photos on a Sony FX3, people are gonna be like,
can it shoot photos even?
Yes,
it can, but like not really meant to. It's like a test frame, really.
Pretty much.
Yeah, it's pretty much a mini cinema camera. I would say. Yeah,
I threw this next one on here.
I love it.
The Blackmagic Pocket 6K. It's great if you are down to spend money to build it up. It needs some big batteries. It needs a V-mount battery. It needs a storage that is not a memory card, because it just eats through storage, dude. This camera also has beautiful Blackmagic color. Yeah. So it's gorgeous for that situation. I just think that be prepared, whatever the price tag is, add like $2,000 to $3,000 to it.
It's an incredibly impressive. It's like a cinema camera for like really cheap. It's all manual focus and nothing. There's no autofocus on it. Yeah, and then again, like the colors are great. It kind of can look like a cinema camera, but again, you're gonna have to spend money to like build it the fuck out, and it's kind of a dog to use.
I personally think you're better off going with one of the other baby cinema cameras and then working up to getting a real big dog cinema camera.
Unless you're like just trying to shoot like short narrative films or something. That's what I would use a Blackmagic for.
I think you're so right. Yeah. That's right. And what's the next one that you actually used?
The Sony A7S III. Now, this camera rips. Phenomenal. It's $3,500. Incredible in low light. Like you can shoot 4K 120 if you have the right SD card for it. It only has, I believe, 12 megapixels for photo. Now, going back to what we were saying earlier in the episode, the A7S series is better for video. A7R series is better for photo. So the A7S III, you're going to be getting if you're doing a lot of video work. I will say there was a time where I had the A7S III and the Sony A7R III, and I was using the A7R III for photo and A7S III for video. But my A7R III broke while I was on like tour and I couldn't fix it. So I had to shoot photos on the A7S III. Now, what's interesting, because it's only 12 megapixels and you're dealing with low light, the image actually comes out pretty clean.
It's like cleaner with less megapixels in low light, right?
It actually wasn't bad for photo in concerts because you're dealing with low light situations. However, I noticed that like the benefit to having more megapixels is you're able to crop in, similar to if you're shooting 4K or 8K, you have a little bit extra room and quality to like zoom in video. And if you have extra megapixels, you can change the crop, change the way your final image looks. If you're shooting photos on an A7S III with only 12 megapixel like photos, if you crop in even just a little bit, it's gonna look a little like low quality.
Yes. Definitely. Next up, Boulder territory.
Oh shit.
Boulder land. You're spending bread. You do this full time. This is your life. Okay. Right. First camera.
This is your life.
This is your life, dude. This is everything that.
I shouldn't have chimed in on that one. That's just for you two guys.
This is.
Dude, you got it.
You got it, dude. We'll let it go.
All right,
bro.
Thanks.
First up, we got the Canon C70. Chase and I's Little Baby Rock. We love this camera.
Love it.
It works great. It has never failed me. It can literally record in 105-degree heat for hours on end. I've never had a problem with it. Not one problem with this camera.
Austin took a C70 to Lake Elsinore yesterday for a shoot. 115 degrees. He said it just tanked. Didn't even eat through a whole battery. Just a beast.
Wow. The C70 low key is one of the best cameras at that price point for the image that it produces.
It looks great.
It can hang with most stuff.
Built-in NDs. You don't have to worry about the clip or the twist. They're just built in. You just hit a button and then
Bang.
it darkens the image. It's beautiful, dude.
I didn't realize it was $5,500.
Oh yeah.
Oh, it's not cheap.
This is
Yeah,
this
wow.
is like a real. That's a baby.
That's without batteries,
Yeah.
too.
Oh my god, the batteries are 5. Also, when you get into Big Rock, Boulder Land,
Everything gets more expensive.
When you're in Boulder Land, the cords are $300. The
Right.
cards are $500 to
Batteries.
$1,000. Batteries $500 to $1,000. Like you are spending whatever the number is that you see, times it by 2 to
Right.
get it set up.
Literally,
with the glass and all that stuff.
If you're buying these cameras, you're getting paid like a lot
Thousands
to
of-
shoot.
thousands and thousands of dollars
to shoot
every time.
to
Yeah.
pay it off.
You're also, then you can go from pulling like 6 and 7s to 8s and 9s.
Oh
yeah.
dude, you're pulling the baddies.
Oh yeah.
this is the territory. You know what I mean?
Get us with the next one.
Next one, this is what we use at the Lakers, is the Canon C200. It's a little bit old, but I like it. I wouldn't say that it's my favorite camera by any means.
But it's like a veteran
The
of
C70,
the world.
in my opinion, is better than the
Yeah,
C200.
which is crazy.
It's just the image looks better.
Yeah.
And I think that the C70 also has RAW, and the C200 I believe is $6,700, right? $7,000.
Yeah, it's not cheap.
Okay, what are we looking up? The C200?
C200, yeah.
Because you start to pay for like ports and shit when you
Yes.
get this big. It's like, oh, that has a lot of fucking port XLRs and shit, and that makes it more expensive.
Oh, dude, you can get a C200 for...
$2,500? There's no way.
Oh my god.
Oh, okay, $3,500 because you're gonna get the top handle with the monitor that
Right.
comes with it. So
Yeah, you need that.
$3,500 for the C200, and the reason why it's a bigger number than that C70, but it's a lot older. And
Right.
it works well though. It also has never given me a problem ever.
Canon cameras are literal tanks, like
Yeah.
those big ones. Like the 1DX is you can throw that thing off a mountain and it will not break.
Yeah.
And then its older brother, the C300, they have a mark, I believe,
How much? $9,000?
3 or 2.
Those are really
$9,000.
I was on a shoot and a
So
DP
really nice.
used the C300. I was like, this seems overkill.
Yeah.
It's the fucking same
As the
as the
C70.
C70.
Literally is.
It's just, you have more buttons. Instead of pressing a menu, they're on the side.
Yeah.
That's seriously.
He's right. He's
that
not
is-
wrong.
That is the difference, you know? And I think even as you get into territory of these cameras we're going to talk about, like the FX6, which is next up, is $6,000.
It's like the Sony C70. It's the
Yes,
same thing,
it's
just
the
different
same,
brand.
It's the same situation. Also on all these cameras, their little brothers or little sister does the same shit with just a few less buttons. That's like,
true.
as you get up, they're just making it easier for you to access things that a pro filmmaker or a pro photographer might access frequently.
Totally.
They're like solving more problems, you know,
Right.
as you get up. The FX6 though has all these cinema functions on the side of the camera. It's basically the A7S3 and the FX3's big brother. This is a great B cam for the FX9 if you're a big dog, if you're a bolder
Big
dude,
dog.
you know. But the FX6, I think that if I was starting out and I'm getting my first cinema camera, it's either going to be the FX6 or the C70.
Totally
And
agree.
The FX6 is also going to be a lot better in lower light.
Yes.
And I think though I am changing my opinion on the color of Sony. I used to say, oh, Sony color is trash. Sony color is good. And
They got a lot better.
They got a lot better. Back a few years ago,
Used to
Canon
suck.
was leaps and bounds
Yeah.
ahead of
Yeah.
them. And I think they've evened the playing field. They put a lot of work into that color. And I notice it personally on the stuff that I make now. I have no problem with it. I think there is a little magenta or green situation. Sometimes you got to
I
fix
feel
up.
like Sony's come out really like contrasty and sharp. Like, do you remember when we compared Sony footage to like the red Komodo footage, for example? The red looks like, I'm like, what is it? It's so soft and stuff when you look at
Soft
it.
and creamy.
When you look at it like compared to
Yeah.
it, it's a different look.
Yeah.
I typically prefer like the softy and shit,
Yeah.
but I mean, there's something to the Sony color
Yeah.
that's it's a lot nicer now.
They've been working it. Next up is a camera that you own currently. Tell me about it.
The Sony A1, $6,500 for the body
Nice.
only. And then another camera, the Canon 1DX Mark III, also $6,500 for body only, but it's not mirrorless. Now, going back to the A1 real quick. I have a couple gripes with the A1.
Oh,
Okay,
what's the biggest one that you have?
Doesn't have a flip out screen.
I'd be
Oh,
so
that's so
pissed.
annoying,
So
dude.
pissed
Okay.
if I didn't have that.
They should
So-
make an A1F flip out, you know?
That's good.
Yeah, you like
I
that?
want to say something that I think smaller rocks are going to appreciate. I don't always think it's the best idea to upgrade to like that expensive of a camera.
Yeah, I agree.
It's overkill for most of what I do. I believe this camera shoots like 50 megapixel
No need.
photos. So here's the thing. You don't need a fucking image that has 50 megapixels unless you're shooting for a billboard.
Yeah.
Like, unless your images are getting blown up, social media is going to compress it anyways. I'm typically transferring anywhere from like 90 to 120 gigs of raw photos. Just photos from like a concert that I'm shooting.
I think of a
like
raw
1,500
I think
photos.
a raw photo is like 30 megabytes usually.
Yeah, that's what I would think.
So it's honestly overkill. And then it doesn't have the flip out screen, and it's just like, it's a tank of a camera. But honestly, I think for like what I do, it's almost like unnecessary of like how good it is.
Yeah,
Definitely. The 1DX too, like Kosa was talking about, a lot of photogs have.
Oh, yeah.
This
Yeah.
is like the sports photography bread and butter.
People love it.
All the time you go to a sports game, NFL game, those dudes are either using a really old Nikon or
Sure.
they're using the 1DX Mark
Yeah.
II.
Yeah.
And it's held the test of time. It shoots a really fast burst. That's why they love it so much, and it's very reliable. Next up, Chase, tell me, we're getting into Big Brother land, dude. We got the Red.
Oh, nice.
We're in Gemini territory.
The Red Gemini is a fucking beast,
Yeah.
dude. It's big. It's a dog to use, just like the other. Like the big cinema cameras are hard to use. They're meant to be used with like honestly multiple people fucking using them.
Yeah.
The Red Gemini has like that beautiful red color that like made the whole brand fucking famous, and this is like the one that has that color that like started it all.
So you can get a Red Gemini kit that
Yes.
is used for like 20,000 ish, 15,000. You can get a good kit that's
Like that's
used.
built out.
It's built
because
out.
you really need to build a lot. Because
You-
it comes with just a brain. That's
Dude,
what you're buying.
I promise you guys too, if you're ever looking to buy a Red camera, there's someone selling it. I promise
it's
you.
true. It's like a boat, dude.
It's dude, it's a boat. It's the best day ever when you buy it, best day ever when you sell
Yeah.
it. No, I love Red though. I think they're great, but they're for very particular things.
Yeah.
This is if you're working on big ad budgets.
Yep.
This stuff is you want the most ultra depth and all the best image quality.
Yep.
Red.
Yeah,
you know?
and it's funny because so Red, you think of it like 20K for like this used old camera,
Yeah.
right? That's insane.
It's crazy.
And you think of it as like the big budget shit. But then I learned there's levels to this shit.
Dude.
And the Red, dude, is the cheap option
Yeah.
when it comes to making movies and
Oh,
like
yeah.
big ads. So you have fucking all the Arri Alexa cameras, whatever.
LFs and all
that.
you can go
the
and look them up.
S35, I just looked it up, 88 grand
Yeah.
for the body,
Just
which
came
is just
out.
ridiculous. And what you're buying is a fucking tried and tested camera like brand that has superior color science. Like the image just looks, here's the thing, dude, it looks fucking 20% better than the C70 maybe. Like, but you're just buying it because that's the industry standard. It has like 8K, but you don't even need it. And it fucking just has that image quality that people like and associate with movies. Then I love this camera so much. This is the camera that's on all the shoots nowadays that I'm on. Like if it's $1 million plus budget, they have the fucking Sony Venice 2 because, and this is, they're shooting action movies with this shit. Basically you have the camera body and you can put a lens on there, or you can run a cord from the camera body to a little box that just holds the lens, and you can just use the lens to shoot stuff. It's fucking insane, dude. So like,
this is only with the Venice.
just the Sony Venice 2. They
cool.
invented this new technology. So like Mission Impossible, the one that came out, there's like BTS of a guy like having the Sony Venice on a backpack basically behind him, and then cord over his shoulder, and he's just holding the lens, and he just like jumps out a window with Tom Cruise, and he's just holding it, which is fucking insane. And it comes with like a little monitor on the back.
So yeah, it's $1,500 a day to rent that camera.
Yeah. The camera cost $52,000 to buy.
And I would argue
No one
that
buys it.
Don't buy these cameras,
No.
but it could
No
be
one
fun to
does.
rent.
Could
if
be,
you're getting,
if you get a big enough shoot,
Rent it.
rent the cool stuff, and also rent it for an extra day before to test it out. Don't
Right, if
show
you've
up.
never used it before.
Yeah,
Yeah.
don't show up and try and mess around
That's
with
the crazy thing, dude, is that these cameras, they're not that complicated to use. I got to use the Arri Alexa for like an hour on the last shoot I was on just because it was sitting there. It was literally, it's like the Red. It's like an iPhone. It's like just boop, boop, boop. You click, tap, touchscreen, and you're shooting.
Remember at the end of the day, they all got the 4 settings. They
Yep.
were all,
Yep.
you know what I mean?
Exactly.
They got, and then all the other stuff's like a bell and whistle. But what's interesting is as you spend more money, like Chase was saying, there's a law of diminishing returns with this
Totally.
stuff. It can only get so much better
Yeah.
at a certain point. They can only look that much more sharp, that much
Yep.
more detail.
Yep.
You're at the big dog level, they might be able to pull out, we can pull out more blacks here. We can pull out the whites. The highlights are
Right.
clipped. We're fine. We can bring them back, you know?
Right.
So don't feel like, oh man, I'm never gonna make it because I can't afford a $52,000 fucking camera. Fuck that fly, dude. Thought I had him, but yeah.
You don't need to buy it. No one's ever need to buy one of those cameras, especially because they come outdated really fucking fast. It makes literally no sense to buy it unless you're a rental house and you're gonna rent it out.
Yeah,
but it's
definitely.
great to rent. It's fucking crazy.
But sometimes buying new gear motivates you to go like
I know where he's
shoot
going.
new stuff. So you should go also last camera get a Leica Q2
Just threw this on here while we were talking about
Yeah,
it.
just some charity.
Oh.
Just a charity camera.
It's a sick camera.
to
Your
have-
images look dope.
have on the top. No, it's fire. So hopefully this is an amazing gear guide that you guys can go use when you're purchasing your next camera this year. And maybe we won't have to make one of these for another 4 weeks.
Yeah, right.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for tuning in to episode 71 of the 505 podcast. Make sure to hit the subscribe button, leave the boys a like, and we'll see y'all next week. Peace.
Peace.
Bye.